Alrighty, we are here to talk about The Bachelor, right, Amy?
Yay! Yeah.
So I'm Dana, Miss Diaper D, and I have Amy here with me from Dreamflight 6000. I'm gonna say hi,
Hi.
and then we also have Angel from Making. Is it Making Baby Taylor? Is that right,
Yes,
Angel?
that's right.
Yep. Okay. So we are in a Facebook group together called The Bachelor Bunch where we talk about The Bachelor. And so we're big Bachelor fans. And so we just wanted to get together just to have a little bit of fun just talking about The Bachelor and who we think, the winner is going to be because we're getting close to the final. And we have a little list up of all the different, what are they called? Not contestants.
Contestants?
Are they called
I
contestants?
don't
What
know.
do you call them? I don't know.
I think
They're
what
not bachelorettes, right? Because they're
yeah,
I don't know. But
yeah.
we have a list of all of them. I don't even remember all of them. There's so many on this list I don't even remember who they are. I was like looking through
Forgettable.
and I
They're
was like,
forgettable.
I know.
Yeah.
I think there was a Nikki. I was like, oh, there's a Nikki on this Bachelor, but I don't remember her at all. I see her on the list. She was a cheerleader, but I don't remember her in the show. But this
I'm
season, I
always
think.
terrible
Go
with
ahead.
the names. I'm always terrible with the names. Like I never remember their names until like the last like three.
I know, or you have to describe them to me. And no.
Yeah, I'm like the one with
Remember
the
the
hair.
one that yeah.
Yep. And there was so much going on this season that I think was really fun. And so I don't even know where we should start.
We're gonna start with
know.
Chris. Okay, first, but I
Yes,
love
go ahead.
Chris. He's like the best bachelor ever, except he kisses everybody. Like he over kisses to me. I think he just should have backed off on the kissing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think he
does.
kissed. Do you guys think he kissed the most? I think that he kissed
Oh,
the
for
most
sure.
girls. Almost,
I
I think
think
every single
everybody.
one, right?
I'm sure, yeah.
Pretty
Because every
much.
time, like, no, Chris, don't kiss Kelsey. You know, when she went up to his hotel room, you could tell he didn't want to kiss her. She kissed him, but
Oh my gosh, that's a whole nother discussion. I really want to
and
talk
then you're
about
sitting
that
there
in
like
the
it's
hotel
so
room.
awkward, and you're
Yep.
feeling
Yeah.
awkward for him, and like,
Exactly. Like sometimes it's like if the moment's there is one thing, but you can tell like some of his kissing has been really awkward where
Yeah.
you're kind of like, this is not natural at all. Why is this happening?
Yep. I think he does. They kiss sometimes to like break the awkward silence, and that's pretty much it. Like like he doesn't know what to say, so they just kiss, right?
and sometimes they're begging for this alone time, and then they're kissing the whole time. You're like, well, they didn't talk because they're kissing, you know.
Well, that's where like the competitive nature comes in, don't you think? Where they just all want to kiss,
Well,
and I
because they
think
heard
like,
so and so kiss, so
right,
then they
yeah,
all need to
uh-huh.
kiss.
And
then
if
the one
the
comes, well, I'm the
Bachelor,
only one he didn't kiss, and then of course she doesn't kiss him.
yep. And if he doesn't have like any boundaries, if he just lets everybody kiss, then everyone will be going in for the kiss
Exactly,
if he doesn't
'cause
like say
they
no.
do. They go in for kisses. He's not kissing, you know. He
Mhm.
accepts the kiss. But
And like, what man's gonna say no to all of these beautiful women
Right,
trying to kiss
right.
him? So yeah, I know. But there was tons and tons of kisses in the beginning where I was getting almost to the point where I didn't like Chris. Where I was like, oh my
I
god,
know
I don't think I
even
like
the very
him.
first episode, that first night, he kissed so many.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if he kissed them all that first night. The first night, I think he only kissed Britt, the first impression rose, right?
Did
I think he
he?
only kissed
I
her.
don't know. I just
And
felt
then
like he was always kissing somebody.
I think it was the second night. It was like the second or third episode where I started to get like, oh, he's kissing everybody, and I was getting disgusted. I couldn't even watch. You should have seen my face. I was like, oh, I just couldn't even like look at it. It was just so like it was grossing me out because he was kissing them all. And mostly it was okay. So on this whole season, there was two virgins, which they talk about, which was Ashley I and then Becca. They're the two virgins. On
First of all, I
whole
don't get why that's
season.
such a big deal.
I don't know,
Like,
but that's
I
what
don't
they're
know, why
making
is
it a
anybody
big
even
deal.
talking about or bringing it up? It just makes
I
no
know.
sense
I
to
think
me.
because they were like, oh, Chris is gonna love that. He's gonna want those girls more. But the only reason it was like noticeable to me is because Ashley I, and I brought it up because like when she was kissing him, it was like such a you could tell she hasn't like maybe kissed a lot, but it was just like all tongue. I don't know if you noticed that. It was just I couldn't even look at the screen.
It was too much.
Like
Yeah.
it was just like not a good kiss.
But
It
her
was,
whole body language was like you wouldn't. I don't know. It was just it was awkward.
I hear you.
She was all over him. But I like Becca.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that they're totally two different personalities on television.
I like Becca
I
too
think
until they did the
Becca,
hometown date.
Sorry.
What do you think, Angel? What do you think of her sister? Don't you remember her sister, Becca's sister, with the grilling? Did you see that?
Yeah, I think it's very telling she hasn't told him yet. And just because she actually wants to get to know him, and she's not using it as like a gimmick of a "this is why you want to keep me around" kind of thing. But yeah, her sister. I think her sister is just very like protective of her, and I've seen that in like previous episodes. How many? I can't remember what season it was, but someone's brother was like crazy to the point like he ended up like letting that girl go. I can't remember which one it was.
Oh, was it? That wasn't Dez's brother.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, it's like sometimes they get a little intense.
Yeah.
Well, the sister was kind of like really, I don't know, I was like, oh my gosh, she was so hard, like
But
really
Whitney's
hard.
sister wasn't nice either.
No. Yeah, that's true. Whitney's, I know, I was wondering later, because I was like, I wonder if Whitney's thinking, man, I should have told him to ask my uncle, because his uncle was so nice.
He was so
I was
nice.
like, why didn't you tell him to ask your uncle? But I mean, obviously her sister's most important, but it was like that was a bad. I understand what she said though. She wants her sister to be the only one and not one of four.
She could have said it a little more kind.
Mm-hmm.
She was they're so rude about it. I thought both families. I thought, ugh, I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and like, oh, go ahead. Like Britt kind of brought that up too, where she was like, "Well, I don't want to be your second or third choice. I want to be your first choice." And it's like, well, yeah, of course, like I wanted that in my marriage, but you have to remember that this process, like that's how it works. And
exactly, you didn't meet him on the street. This is what you signed up for. Yeah, she's whining about those.
To be surprised that that's how it works is just kind of ridiculous. I think she was actually so immature of that whole thing. It's just, it was a train wreck.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with Carly when she was Carly. By the way, I thought was hilarious with
she
all
was
the
so
scenes
funny.
with her.
I'll miss her.
She was making me crack up. Of course, I knew she probably was not going to end up with Chris, but the things she was saying were just hilarious. And her expressions every time Britt was talking was just. And
it's like we all know a Brit in real life. Like we're like, oh, that's a Brit, that's a Brit. You know Brits.
Yes, we know.
So
Brits.
It's just you can relate to what she was saying. Oh yeah, you're good at everything. And you say you're not. It was just hilarious. Loved her.
And then there was one of the girls, I don't know whether it was Carly, but she said, oh, when they were standing at the rose ceremony, and of course Britt was like, Chris, can I talk to you? And they're like, I knew it. She just couldn't stand here. She wants to be the one to say she's going to go if she thinks she's not going to get a rose. And she
totally true. Yeah, that's totally. She wanted to like get this big romantic gesture out of him. And it's just, that's not how it works. Like, even if they decide, like, that early on who they want, they still can't tell you that. Like, didn't Allie, like, know it was Roberto, like, way early in the process, but she still never, like, told him, like, you're the one I'm gonna pick, because they can't. So it's just, for her, she was expecting something out of him that he couldn't give her, and it was just showing how immature she was and unreasonable she was, and he was just like, no. And I'm so glad that he didn't go for that. I think he's been very reasonable and a really good judge of character, more so than past bachelors have been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I totally think Britt just wanted to win, and she's used to getting her way, and then she freaked out when she wasn't like getting all the attention. Seems like a person who's used to it, but
she would have never lived there. She would have never.
No,
where's she gonna get her? She just is not that type of person that would live there.
I wouldn't live there. No thanks.
But you said you saw Britt on Jimmy Kimmel, right?
I
Amy?
did,
and you said you changed your mind about her.
I don't hate her as much as I thought. She's young, and I don't know. She didn't seem quite as bad on Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, look, Lisa Party. Let me say, Lisa Party of 5 is here. She says, I wish they would mute the kissing sounds. It's so gross. Yes, it is.
Ashley. Oh. Yes, it was gross.
And then looks like we got another comment from How do you say this, Amy? How do you say her name? Stacia, thank you. Hi, guys. I don't understand why the girls feel like being a virgin might be a deal breaker, like it's a bad thing. I don't know if they thought. Did they think it was a bad thing? I thought that they were
like nervous, thinking that was going to be a reason. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I think they were scared. Like they thought it'd be a reason that Chris would keep that person because all men like that's not what you thought.
No.
Okay.
In the early on, I remember someone, I can't remember who it was someone telling Ashley, like, oh, I wish I was still a virgin. That's, like, a really good, like, gimmick kind of thing. But in the preview, Becca is like acting like when she's like doing her little, confessional about like, okay, I'm gonna tell him, like, I'm really nervous, this could go badly. It seems like she's scared that he's gonna like reject her over it, which is kind of sad.
That is sad. I think that's really sad that she would think that. Yeah.
But I don't think he's the kind of guy that would be a deal breaker for her.
hmm
Hi.
Yeah. I do think, like you said, Angel, I think Chris has been doing like really good with his selection, and he's surprised me because let's talk about Jade, and her Playboy confession that she made, and not that I don't think he got rid of her, necessarily, because of that. That's not what I'm saying, but I thought that I think it was kind of, I don't know, I sort of appreciated that he didn't keep her around for the fantasy suite. Like, oh, she's a Playboy model, I definitely want to take her to the fantasy suite and then I'll let her go. You know what I mean? I kind of was like, I don't know. I sort of liked that he got, was like, okay, she's not the one. And, I know he said that has nothing to do with it, but, I feel like, okay, he did get rid of her before the fantasy suite visit.
I think it shows that he's a good guy. I mean, when you have someone that you like and then you go to their family and they say she's some wild stallion or whatever they said, and she's wild and that's not the person you're seeing, that would be a big red flag for me. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he was like, that doesn't make any sense. This isn't who I know,
Right. And when she told him about the Playboy thing, which would have been totally okay, I think, if she had told him, but when she said, do you want to see the pictures and the video?
And the movie? Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, what? I mean, that was really where I think maybe she, like, kind of went overboard with it. Like, because she was smiling, which to me made it look like she was really proud of it. And, I'm like, instead of just being like, oh, I have this in my past and I was young and, and I'm sorry, or, even not apologize, but just be like, yes, I have this in my past. But she's like, do you want to see the pictures? Like, it was just too much. Like, that's where it kind of took it too far.
When she did that, in my head, I'm thinking she wants something future modeling out of this. She's trying to show people and get her name out there.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. It was
that's what she's doing, too.
It was so awkward. Like, you could tell he was so uncomfortable. Like, watching it, especially once she started the video, and he was just like, oh my god. Like, yeah, so I think that had a lot to do with that. I don't think it's so much that she did it, but that she, like, went there and she crossed that, like, because, I mean, he's sitting here like, I'm dating these other women too, and here you're showing me your completely naked body. Like, that's just, it was just a little much, I think, still for that stage in the process.
I liked when the brother told him, he said, oh, she's trying to be a model. It's almost like the brother sort of told him, like, that's why she's on the show, dude. Like, because she wants to be a model.
Yeah, those brothers ruined it for her, I think.
I do, too. They did. They did ruin it, because she probably would have gone a little further if they hadn't said all that, which is, probably a good thing. But, my favorite part...
So no one's talking about Caitlyn. So that's kind of like, that makes me think she's the next to go.
I don't know. You think so? Yeah.
Well, we're not bringing her up. That means she's forgettable, I guess. I
don't know. Yeah.
That's true.
Really
so who's in the final three? We have
Caitlyn, Whitney, and Becca.
Whitney and Becca. Okay. There's that, like, spoiler Steve guy.
Don't talk about that.
He's been wrong sometimes, but I don't know. So we have to say who you think will win.
Did you look it up?
I did. I always read it because sometimes he's wrong. He's been wrong
he ruined it for me once, and I never
really. I don't know. I don't really believe it that he really knows for sure. And then even if he thinks he knows, there could be, like, Jason, who changed his mind after the final rose ceremony. Went back, so it's not like it's ever really done until they sit down on that couch, and even then, of course. But I feel like now it's like that set of precedents where the Bachelor can definitely change his mind when you're sitting on the sofa after the final rose and go back. But my favorite scene in the whole Bachelor season so far was, we have to talk about this, was the Ashley I and the Kelsey stare down on the mat when they sat there and stared at each other when they were in the middle of the desert. I thought that was just the absolute best episode I've ever seen, when they sat there and, like, stared down each other, and Ashley I was crying, and that was just the best. And then when the guys came and took the suitcases away and the girls were all like, Chris is so smart. Chris is so smart. That was the best scene ever that I've ever seen on The Bachelor. It was so fun. Oh my god, I loved it.
What about when Kelsey came back on with Chris Harrison on The Bachelor Tells All?
I didn't see Kelsey. As she came. Oh, right. Oh, that part during
And
at the
she
end
was
of that.
saying
Yeah.
how she just didn't have any idea. She was so funny.
I loved every one of her speeches. I just loved where she said, "I am just so wonderful."
I am here, or she is here, and I am here.
Yes, it was so good.
But it was so funny because they put in, she would say, no, I don't feel like I'm above anybody at all. And then they put in the little clip of her saying the stuff that she did. It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh my God, I loved it. And then, like we were talking about earlier, I thought it was so cool when she went to this hotel room to tell him about her husband, and that scene was so awkward. And then she like did a dive bomb kiss. Like he went to just give her a hug, and she was like, "No, let's make out." And it was so awkward. It was disgusting. I was like, "Who?" It's like, who does that after you just were talking about that? Do you think that's a real story? Do you really think that's true about her husband or made up?
I have no idea. I would think.
Yeah.
You think it's real?
I guess. She shows no emotion talking about it.
That's what I mean. That's why it was creepy. It was like, that can't be a true story, the way she's acting.
But sometimes the things that have happened in my life, I can say stuff without showing emotion too, but the stuff that happened forever ago, like this was just like a year ago for her, wasn't it?
Right.
That's why I don't know. Like it would be kind of fresh, and you would really have a hard time talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah. And then,
like the other one, I can't remember the name, but the other one who also lost her husband, the one who committed suicide, when she was telling her story, she was just so upset, and it just was so like night and day between the two of them, and you're like, really?
Yeah.
Well, that girl was weird because she told it during the pool party where Chris was frolicking with all of those half-naked women in the pool. That was so bad when she was like, let me talk to you for a second while he was in the pool. That was just like, I was like, that's the moment you chose? I was like, oh my God, like you really think he's going to be able to listen to you when there's like all these women wanting to bounce around with him in a pool? It was so bad. So, I don't know, that just was hilarious. But yes, it's totally different, her reaction though, aside from her poor timing, than Kelsey when she was, basically telling him, and then at the rose ceremony she was like laughing and giddy that she thought she was going to get a rose because of her sob story, and then she passed out. That was so bad. I was like, we all know you're passing out just to try to prevent getting so that you don't get kicked out tonight. All right, so who do you think is going to win? Any thoughts?
I know who I think he should pick. I think he should pick Whitney. Because she doesn't have a family of her own. Like, she doesn't, her parents aren't around, right? She doesn't have much of a family. Yeah. I feel like she could just, living there on the farm with the family, and I think that would just be so good for her, and I think she would adapt well to that lifestyle.
I agree. I do worry a little bit because her career is really important to her.
Yeah, I know. That's hard
to get there. So I know that would be hard for her to give up, but I feel like I prefer her a little bit more, if not her though, than Becca.
Becca, yeah.
I mean, obviously I'm a little bit biased with her because she's from San Diego, which is where I'm from. So I do.
Who Becca is? No, Becca's from South Carolina, right?
It says San Diego.
Her family. I'm thinking of where her hometown was. Okay, yeah.
Where she was living before anyway. So anytime I see anybody from San Diego and anything, I'm always like, yeah. And I think they would be really cute together too. So it's kind of hard to say, but I definitely think it's between the two of them. Like Dana was saying, the other one, you just forget about her. She just kind of blends in.
Caitlin is nice too. It's just she ruined it for me the first episode. So her bad first impression for me. So I didn't really like her after that much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's gonna be Becca. That's what I think.
I'd be happy if it was her, but I don't know
I'm rooting for her.
I don't know her very well, so it's hard.
That's why I think she'll win, because they haven't been showing her very often. So I feel like that might be like a
turn off.
They're not making a big deal.
Yeah, she would be good for him too. Either one, either Whitney or Becca would be good.
Watch it's Caitlin, and we're like, what?
I know. She just,
I think Whitney would have her career, and she'd be too upset about maybe losing that, being there without that. She worked so hard for it.
Yeah, and she obviously loves it.
Yeah. It's adorable.
Yep. Okay, well, my connection is getting...
We have to talk about who we think is going to be the next Bachelorette.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Or who do you think? Do you have an idea?
Okay, I don't know. Well, I originally in the first few episodes, I thought if Britt doesn't win this was before she showed who herself was, I thought for sure it will be Britt as the next Bachelorette. So I don't know. I don't know now. Can you put the list up?
Yep. I think it's going to be Carly.
Oh, Carly. Yeah. She would be fun.
I think she'd be just so funny.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a good one. It's hard to say because I know it doesn't always follow that format, but it's often like whoever second place person is, like most of the time, not always, obviously.
You mean the
Chris,
third place or the second place?
It's been the second place person more often than not.
Oh, has it? Okay. Because I was always thinking it was the third person. So
I feel like if Whitney didn't win, I know I feel weird saying that because it's like, it's a competition. It's not. If Whitney was
pretty like upbeat.
Yeah, I feel like Whitney would make a good Bachelorette if it wasn't her.
Don't they usually do it who's like the most likable, or who the audience likes the best, or who the fans like the best?
Sometimes I think it just depends. Like obviously, like they also have to worry about like people's schedules and whatnot too. There's like a lot of things that they take into account when they decide on the person.
I was just thinking, because I just watched the Jimmy Kimmel thing with Britt. Before this, and he said, "So, do you really shower?" Because I thought that was so funny that they were saying she doesn't shower. Remember on the episodes?
Did she say she does or doesn't?
She said she does. But it makes me think she doesn't because they all said that. Carly was like, she doesn't shower. And she sleeps in her makeup, and she always looks like perfect all the time.
I remember that. Was she the one that he went to wake up and she like literally had makeup on all
she looks perfect. Yep.
I thought that was so weird. Could not do that. No.
Like maybe that's what people do.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to fall asleep wearing your makeup, not taking it off, but like she does a fresh face of makeup before she goes to sleep. And that's weird. I don't know. I just thought it was odd.
Who did you say, Dana, that you thought was going to win? Did you say Becca?
Yes, Becca.
Becca, okay. So my vote is Whitney. You're Becca.
Okay.
What do you say, Angel?
It's hard. It's such a toss-up. I keep going back and forth, but I think like just by a hair, Whitney. Just by a hair, just a little. It just seems like they have a little bit more of a connection, but it's hard to say because
they don't show us everything.
Yeah, and the final two can sometimes like show you so much more and just completely change your mind. So
no, Whitney was never at his actual. She never went to Arlington, right?
True.
Didn't they go as a group though?
She wasn't there. She was on the date that day with Chris.
Oh, that's right, in Des Moines.
Was Becca there? Yeah,
yes,
she must
Becca
have been.
was in the car.
She's so quiet that we don't really get to know her at all. She's kind of, you don't know what she's thinking.
They focused on Britt and Carly during that car ride.
That's why they focus on those most of the time in the last 4 episodes. So that makes me think with The Bachelor, it's either going to be Britt or Carly.
Yeah, that's true. I'll try to drum up that following.
I don't think it'll be Britt because she just created too much drama at the end. She's not a fan favorite, I don't think.
No, I don't think she is either.
Yeah. So we didn't talk about Ashley S. at all with the zombie and the onion talk and all of that.
Weird.
Remember Ashley S.? Yeah.
That was just, I don't know what to say. Yeah, that was just, I don't know.
I couldn't figure her out. I was always so confused. Like, okay, is she faking it? Is she, like, does she really have like a mental health issue? Is she on something? Like, what is happening?
Well, I didn't get why Chris would kept her there. Like, I'm thinking, why didn't he get rid of her? That just makes no sense. If someone was acting like that at the zombie thing, why wouldn't he get rid of her that night? Like, it just was weird. What did he see in her?
He must have been told to keep her. He had to have been told to keep her.
Just for, yeah. For TV.
Because I'm sure at a certain... Sorry. I'm sure in like early in the stages, they probably have more that they could really like cull away than they, have roses for. So they're probably like, hey, if you have an extra rose that you can't really decide on who to keep, why don't you keep so and so? Because good TV. I'm sure that they do that.
He has a lot to say about The Bachelor.
Dana, will you accept this rose?
You're going to give him a rose, Amy? Is that what you said?
No, I said, Dana, will you accept this rose?
I brought up my roses from Valentine's Day, and Jim said, what are you doing with those? And I said, I'm going to see if Amy will accept my rose. I told Andy, I'm going to
accept a rose.
I know.
That's so funny.
I know. Our husbands always joke that we're gonna run off with each other.
Proud of him. I got roses. Well, you got roses too. What did they must have talked.
They must have talked. I know. I got nice pink ones.
No, they look pink on camera, but they're actually red.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Mine are almost dead. They're like almost about to kick the bucket. So it's like, okay, they got to make it one more night for our
Oh, mine did good then.
They look good from here.
This is the only one. I only have one dead one right here. Oh. Oh, this is so fun, Dana. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, a little bit of fun. It's kind of, I love The Bachelor. I think The Bachelor and Survivor are the only like two things I get to watch that are for me like fun. It's the only ones I really, really try to watch because I just think that they're so goofy and off. I don't know. I just love all the drama in them, and it's just really fun. So
I used to watch
love the dates. I remember
of Survivor.
You did? Oh my gosh, yeah. My sister and I, like, we used to always watch The Bachelor, and we used to like, she'd be like, we should like get, because I drink so much. We don't really drink a lot, but she's like, we would try to like have a little wine and like, and we would keep clinking our glasses like every time. Like kiss or something, we wouldn't like drink, but like it was just like so funny because they just have so much wine and everything in The Bachelor. So we used to try to sit down and have like one little glass of wine together. So it's fun.
This is the episode. Sorry, we were almost done. But you know how many girls have come back, like wanting to come back?
Yeah, a lot of them.
3 or 4. That never had happened in the past. It's so weird that they all of a sudden think they should come back on. I think he's got the personality that they know that he might.
Because he's just so nice and doesn't say no.
Once. Maybe that's, he's too nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, too nice. And this one I think maybe had some of the worst drunk girls that they've ever had on the show.
And they can't even stand up on the podium thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Pretty intense.
And he kept her even. I'm thinking, get rid of the drunk girl, whatever her name was.
I know, right.
Sometimes I shake my head.
I do understand, like, we were talking about how, like, in the group, we were talking about how, they're up all night, and they don't give them any food. All they have is alcohol. I feel like they do it on purpose. Like, they almost, like, torture them, like, and, like, because they want them to
they're never eating, are they?
Show. Yeah, no, they never give them food. They just give them booze. And then, of course, what are you going to do? You're going to act crazy if you're just drinking without any food, and it's been, like, all night long. Yeah. Yeah,
One
so
more
I
thing.
Get it. I kind of understand.
When Chris took Britt to that concert, I thought that was just completely inappropriate of even the staff of whatever to even set that up. I mean, making the girl sit there for hours while he's off at the concert with Britt, I mean, that just doesn't seem right at all.
Of course not, but it's for ratings, Amy.
I was
they
just
did
so
it on
mad.
purpose.
I'm like, why would they do that? I cannot even believe that they would do that. That's just so wrong.
It was.
Yeah, it was so mean. Like, it's, there's often where they'll have, like, a group date, and, like, he'll pick one person, and the rest of them leave, and they'll go off. And so, like, that in of itself, I didn't think was so bad, but, like, to make them wait for hours, like,
and not knowing where they are? Yeah, they just run off?
Yeah, that was mean. And then just to come back and be like, oh yeah, she's got thrown. Okay, this is awkward. All right, well, good night, everybody. Like, so they waited for hours for nothing.
No.
Yeah, it was also rude when, Chris came in to get Britt for that hot air balloon. Remember Carly was complaining to no end about how they were kissing in the room in front of him, like when he came to get. And I do think that was rude when he came in and he like shushed Carly. I know he's just, he didn't know what he was doing. He's a man. I mean, to some extent, but he was like, he came in and he was like, shh, and then he goes over and starts kissing Britt, and Carly was saying, I had just been kissing him on a date the night before, and it's like he comes in and shush. I mean, because Carly was awake, he could have come in and been like, hey Carly, hi, I have to go get Britt. Like he could have like come over and said something to her because everyone else in the room was asleep except for Carly. So I don't know, but he didn't. Whatever. He just kind of was thinking about Britt and her lipstick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sedacia, she says Whitney.
All right, Whitney.
But now
I think she's gonna get a lot of votes. It's still up. Did you put it down?
No, I don't know how. I can't. Here,
now she's stuck there for all time.
She also said, I don't feel like Caitlin is right for him. Can't imagine her being a farm girl. Becca is nice, but I'm weary of her being inexperienced in the love department. Whitney seems best suited to him, but I'm not sure how she would manage having to quit her job. Hey, we just said all that, like some of that stuff. Yeah.
We're thinking alike. We're thinking alike.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
And I lost all the rest. I had some other comments up on the side, and they just disappeared from me. Do you have them, Dana?
No, I don't have them. Mine just blitzed out.
Ah, so did mine.
But thank you for leaving them, for being here with our little Bachelor talk people in the comments. And you can go and join us in the Bachelor bunch if you want to talk about it some more, because that's where we go and hang out.
So next week, there's 3. They go to his families.
Is it his family? I thought it was. Is it his family next, or I thought it was a Is it both Fantasy Suite?
Or is it just the final 2? Or does anyone ever go to his house? How does that work?
It's always the top 3 do the Fantasy Suite thing, and then the top 2 meet the family or go to the hometown, whichever. It depends. They always like mix it up a little bit with that.
Yeah. This time, they've done all kinds of funky different things in this time. They keep skipping the rose ceremony, which I'm like, okay, there's no end.
I don't like the format. It's so like confusing. I'm always like, wait, is this still the same episode? I was watching earlier today, and I wasn't expecting to see the family hometowns already, because I'm like, I just watched the rose ceremony, and oh yeah, this is the same episode. Wait, what? It was just. I'm so used to it being at the end that it's just throwing me off.
Yeah, it is. It's weird having it in the beginning because you think the episode's going to be over. Then I click play on the DVR and I see half the time left. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's more left. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Fantasy Suites, I'm excited for those. And then the hometown, and then the finals. What is that? Maybe we got 3 more weeks of fun going on with this, or no? The women tell all. We get to see that too. I kind of liked the Chris tell all one. That was kind of cool. I liked that they did that. So we have the women tell all.
I kind of have a feeling Kelsey's not gonna show up. I kind of got that impression.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh.
And it's funny because in the beginning, remember, she was my pick because I was like, oh, I kind of like her. She reminds me of my sister and my doula. And then it just, I don't know it seems like she just went off on a tangent. She wasn't the same girl that she was initially, because obviously she was kind of putting up a front, and then her true colors came out, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm looking in the group, and Kelsey was your pick in the beginning, Angel, and it was a couple other people's too picked Kelsey. Let me see here. Who did you pick, Amy? Did you put a pick in? I picked. Oh, I picked Tara in the very beginning. That's who she's one of the drunk girls, I think.
Yes, she was like, yeah. So.
That's who I picked in the very beginning. That was my blind guess before the first show even aired.
Oh, was that even before the first show?
That was my blind, just from looking at the picture. I looked at the pic. We looked at the picture of all the girls, and I picked Tara just from looks. And then I came back after the first one, and I guessed. Let's see. I guessed Britt. Is that who I guessed? Wait, where am I? Yep, Britt. That because she got the first impression rose. But somebody said first impression rose winners never ever win the end. They just never get it.
Roberto.
And,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Oh.
But they never got married.
Look, and Jennifer in the group said Caitlin. She had guessed her in the very beginning.
Oh.
Jennifer, you did it. Oh my God, look at that. You kind of guessed one of the final 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at everybody's predictions now in the group. Okay. Amy, I don't see yours listed there.
I didn't list because I didn't know.
You didn't list.
It's too much pressure.
You're no fun.
Oh, I'm not.
I didn't do like the brackets because I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, that's it. I think we went through everything I had on my list here. Yippers. Okay. Fun stuff.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, wait. And we got Angel from Making Baby Taylor, and then Amy from Dreamflight 6000, and I'm Dana from the Miss Diaper D channel. And this is the YouTube Mommy Meetup, Hangout, and Podcast. So that's it. I'm not going to do my whole spiel. You guys know where to go to find us. Okay. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.